Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all my Thunder Dragon Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for August 2020. With the release of Eternity Code a while back, we got the latest Thunder Dragon support for the whole deck as a concept. I never really was a fan of the deck to begin with when it first came out, but after collecting up all the cards, it's definitely an interesting playstyle for sure, focusing on summoning out all the different Thunder Dragon monsters we have through either, banishing effects or just ones that they have on the field, and then being able to rely on the fusion aspect of the deck as well for a bunch of different plays. Definitely makes for an interesting deck for sure. I know that this deck has been hit with the ban list in the form of Thunder Dragon Colossus, but you still have a bunch of other different play styles you can do with the deck, so I figured a deck profile was definitely due for sure. I actually can't remember if I've done a Thunder Dragon deck in the past or not. I don't believe I have, but definitely wanted to take my shot at it now, so let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the monsters, I am running 3 Thunder Dragon Dark. Quick effect, you can discard this card to add 1 Thunder Dragon Dark from your deck to your hand. If this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Thunder Dragon card from your deck to your hand except for Thunder Dragon Dark, and you can only use 1 of Thunder Dragon Dark's effects per turn, and only once that turn. So it's a quick effect for the first effect, so you're even able to activate this on your opponent's turn if you have it in your hand already, being able to search out another one, then just giving you more fodder in the graveyard to set up to easily special summon this card onto the field, and then gain the additional search for any Thunder Dragon card, which it doesn't even have to be a monster. You can even go for your spell card, Thunder Dragon Fusion, with this search, also making it very, very useful as the true search power in the deck as a whole. I'm also running 3 Thunder Dragon Roar. You can discard this card to add to your hand 1 of your Thunder Dragon cards that is banished or in your graveyard except for Thunder Dragon Roar. If this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Thunder Dragon monster from your deck in defense position, but return it to the hand during the end phase, and you can only use 1 Thunder Dragon Roar effect per turn, and only once that turn. So the recycle power with Thunder Dragon Roar makes it so a lot of the monsters are needed just for the overall playstyle and recycle power of what you can do with these cards, and banishing these cards makes up for a good number of a bunch of different effects you have in this deck as well. So Thunder Dragon Roar helps for that recycle power, as well to add cards back to your hand that you can reuse, like Thunder Dragon Dark, to use for the send effect to search out more of this card, or just set it up for more special summoning or search power. And for the last of, actually there's one more 3 of after this, I run 3 Thunder Dragon Hawk. You can discard this card to special summon 1 of your Thunder Dragon monsters that is banished or in your graveyard except Thunder Dragon Hawk. If this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can shuffle any number of cards from your hand into the deck, then draw the same number of cards. You can only use 1 Thunder Dragon Hawk effect per turn, only once that turn. So the discard to special summon a monster that is banished in your graveyard means you have the setup on your field for Thunder Dragon Roar and Dragon Dark to then use for an extra deck summon to send it to the graveyard to get the additional search power for both of these cards, or even just the special summon power, with both of these being Thunder Dragon Roar special summon and Dragon Dark searching out cards for you to use. So Dragon Hawk has that, but if you also just have a hand that you can't use, being able to shuffle back those cards for recycle power means definite 3 of for this card as well in the deck for the overall consistency of all your different plays. And I also run 3 of the original Thunder Dragon. You just discard this card, add up to 2 Thunder Dragon from your deck to your hand. It's that simple, just being able to discard this to even search for just 1 Thunder Dragon to have this effect later on to use additionally. Very, very useful for sure, because then it means you've activated a Thunder Dragon effect this turn to summon out your big go-to monster, because then you can also banish for your Thunder Dragon Titan as well, which we'll go over when we get to the extra deck. So 3 Thunder Dragon definitely helps. You always have the search to go into another one respectively with each individual copy, and then you can also just recycle them back into the deck as well to reuse again later. And that's it for the play sets of cards. I also run 2 of the new Thunder Dragon Lord. It cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 level 8 or lower Thunder monster from your hand or face up on the field. During a turn, a Thunder monster effect was activated in the hand, so basically your Thunder Dragon or any of the other ones you use as well. And once per opponent's turn, quick effect, you can banish 2 cards from your graveyard, including a Thunder monster, then target 1 Thunder monster you control. Your opponent cannot target it with card effects this turn, and once per turn during your end phase, you can send 1 Thunder Dragon card from your deck to the graveyard. So that setup power means you have this boss monster on the field to rely on, but you also have setup for any of your other Thunder Dragons, which have send effects when you send them to the graveyard, to rely on with Thunder Dragon Lore, and being an easy special summon to get on the field, because the 8 or lower applies to all of the Thunder Dragons we already spoke of also in the deck. And I also run 2 Thunder Dragon Matrix. Quick effect, you can discard this card, then target 1 Thunder monster you control. It gains 500 attack. If this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 Thunder Dragon Matrix from your deck to your hand. You can only use 1 Thunder Dragon Matrix effect per turn, only once that turn. So more search power to go into the other one, but mostly I discard it for the 500 gain to have another discarded effect of a Thunder monster from your hand to the graveyard as well. You don't really need 3 of this card in the deck. 2 is fine just for that recycle power once again with Dragonhawk, and it's just there for the plus power, not so much for the search of the additional Dragon Matrix. You want to be able to rely on that search power of Dragon Matrix alone for that power boost, and then being able to go for your other Thunder Dragon effects also. And I only have 1 Thunder Dragon Duo. If you want to run 2 of this card because the banish definitely helps. For summoning this card out, it cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 light and 1 dark monster from your graveyard. Once per turn, if a monster effect is activated in the hand, this card gains 300 attack until the end of this turn. And when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can banish 1 card from your graveyard to add 1 Thunder Dragon from your deck to your hand. You can only, and once per turn during the opponent's end phase, you can target 1 of your banished cards, place it on the bottom of your deck. So more recycle power with Dragon Duo, while Dragon Lord helps to set up the cards in the graveyard to use. Like I said once more, I only have 1 of this in the deck, but if you want to add a second copy, you can take out 1 of the next card that I speak of. That's not a Thunder Dragon card, but more of a setup card for the deck as well. That card being Battery Man Solar, which I have 3 of this in the deck, but if you wanted to take out a copy for a second Dragon Duo, you can do that as well. Battery Man Solar, when it's normal or special summon, you can send 1 Thunder monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if a Thunder monster is normal or special summon, while this monster is on the field, you can special summon 1 Battery Man token onto the field, and then you can target 1 Battery Man. It doesn't really matter for the name effect of this card. You mostly use it for the setup in your graveyard, and whenever you would summon 1 of your other Thunder Dragon monsters, you'll get that token, which just is more resources to use for some of your Link monsters that you can go into with the extra deck also. And I also run 3 Luflu Pine. This one's just another great setup card because most of your normal summons are going to be taken out by Battery Man Solar or a Luflu Pine, as long as you have a good number of these cards to search out into with this deck. When this card is normal summon, you can banish 1 monster from your hand, banish 1 monster from your deck with the same type as that monster, and if this card is destroyed by battle or this card's owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can target 1 of your banished monsters and add it to your hand. So that setup with your banished cards means you can go for any of the Thunder Dragon monsters you run in the deck for the banish with this card. So great reliance for that normal summon, whether you use the Luflu Pine or Battery Man Solar, whichever you send or banish, you'll have those additional effects to rely on for Dragon Dark, Dragon Roar, and Dragon Hawk. And for the last of the monsters, just as an additional hand trap option, because you have plenty of cards just to continue your special summoning power, but just to rely more on stopping your opponent's plays during their turn, 3 Ash Blossom definitely does come in handy, just to stop any of their searches or graveyard setup they might try to do. And that is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. For the fusion setup, I run 3 Thunder Dragon Fusion. You fusion summon 1 Thunder Fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling fusion materials listed on it into the deck from among cards on your field, in your graveyard, and or face-up banished cards. And during your main phase, except for the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard to add 1 Thunder Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Thunder Dragon Fusion once per turn, but that recycle power to reuse your Thunder Dragons means you'll always have the option to go into the different effects, including your Thunder Dragons, or just the recycle, just like Dragonhawk can do. Thunder Dragon Fusion gets out your fusion monster, but at the same time gives you resources back into your deck to use. And then that graveyard setup for more search power also. And for one of the new cards I'm trying, I'm running 2 Chaos Space. You send 1 light or dark monster from your hand to the graveyard to add 1 light or dark monster. That cannot be normal summoned with a different attribute than that monster. And you can banish this card from your graveyard, then activate 1 of your banished light or dark monsters. That cannot be normal summoned or set with that, and place that monster on the bottom of your deck, then draw 1 card. You can only use each effect of Chaos Space once per turn. So that's set up by sending a light or dark monster from your hand to the graveyard to add 1 light or dark. That cannot be normal summoned or set. With a level from 4 to 8 is just great setup as well for a lot of the higher level Thunder Dragon monsters that we're running in the deck for that setup. So either Dragon Lord or even our Dragon Duo, for that search power being the level 8 and having the differing attributes being a light and dark, depending on which play you want to go for. With Chaos Space, it definitely makes you can always have the option to search out one of those cards into your hand as well. And for more banishing and draw power, I also run 3 Allure of Darkness. Not every card in the deck is Dark Attribute, but you still have a good amount, including all the newer of the Thunder Dragon monsters, Dragon Roar, Dragon Dark, and also just more of our setup with Dragon Duo as well for banishing and then getting that draw power. So along with banishing the cards, you'll have the draw power. So 3 Allure of Darkness definitely does come in handy for that. And I also run 1 Gold Sarcophagus and 1 Instant Fusion. Being able to fuse out our Kaminari attack gives us the Thunder monster on the field to use, and then also be able to banish with Gold Sarcophagus for our setup of all the different Thunder Dragons we run in the deck. And I also run, to finish off the spells, 3 Call by the Grave, just another good way to stop our opponent's plays. With this hand trap option, you can have the way to stop their hand traps using Call by the Grave, but then also have just more setup for any of their plays they might try to go for. So whether you need your plays to go off for your special summons and you stop their hand traps, or just one of their plays they may have tried to go for. And for traps, the only trap I run in the deck is 1 Thunder Dragon, 100 Thunders. It was just one I was testing out. You target 1 Thunder monster in your graveyard, special summon it, then you can special summon as many monsters with the same name as possible from your graveyard. The monsters special summoned by this effect are banished when they leave the field. Also, if they are faced on the field, you cannot special summon monsters except Thunder monsters. So with this play, you have just more resources to go for, and you have plenty of Thunder monsters in your extra deck to go for as well. So you're not really limited to that summon, but just more and more resources on the field for you to get out also. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. Now, the one thing I was missing were more copies of Thunder Dragon Titan. I just have 2 Mud Dragon of the Swamp proxies to fill in. You definitely want to run 3 Thunder Dragon Titans in the deck. It's just your most important card in the extra deck because it is the only fusion for Thunder Dragons that has the most power that you can go into, with Colossus being banned currently. Not sure what will happen on the September ban list, if it does come off or not. We'll have to wait and see, but 3 Thunder Dragon Titan are definitely needed until then. You need 3 Thunder Dragon monsters to make it. It must be either fusion summon or special summon by banishing 1 Thunder monster from your hand and 1 Thunder fusion you control, except for Thunder Dragon Titan, in which case you do not use polymerization. And when a Thunder monster's effect is activated in the hand, except during the damage step, you can destroy 1 card on the field. If this card be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish 2 cards from your graveyard instead. So you have plenty of setup with this card, being all the different Thunder monsters we're running, but the destruction effect not being a once per turn either means you can clear a good amount of your opponent's field. And with the attack and defense of this card being quite high as well, you have a true powerhouse to rely on once you get this card on their field, and a difficult one for your opponent to get over also, since you can easily protect it also. And for additional monsters in the extra deck, the 1 Kaminari attack for the instant fusion target, just so you can get that Thunder monster out on the field, because also is just one of the tributes that you can use to get out Thunder Dragon Titan while you have this, and another card to discard from your hand to the graveyard. And for the Link monsters, I run 1 Link Karibo. This just works very well with either the token you make from Batteryman Solar, or even just using Thunder Dragon Matrix to send to the graveyard, setting up the search for another Thunder Dragon Matrix into your hand while still keeping the Link Karibo on the field to use also. I also run 1 Summer Summoner. You need 2 Thunder monsters to make it, so just a great way if you go for your trap card, the Thunder Dragon 100 Thunders, to special summon them onto the field. Another Link monster to go into so you can get more send to the graveyard setup while still getting a Link monster out, with recycle power being able to summon back Thunder monsters onto the field. I also run 1 Predaplant Vert Anaconda for the fusion plays with Thunder Dragon Fusion, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, and the 1 cross sheet for the fusion plays that we can do. Having this on the field already for that setup is just another added bonus for sure. Also 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Triple Burst Dragon, and for some of the more powerhouse monsters that we can make in the deck, just with how easy it is to get monsters out of the field, 1 Borreload Dragon, 1 Access Code Talker, and the 1 Saryuja Skull Dragon. I know we're getting closer to the September ban list, but if any of those cards do get hit, you can always substitute them with some other Link 4 options, including Boral Sword. The only thing, if anything, I doubt Saryuja would get hit at this point, but just an added option to look out for. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, as always, I'm taking tips if you want any other decks to be made. I'm definitely looking into them just to see different styles of deck profiles I can try and do with all we have out there for the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! But until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.